I've got mega breaking Ripple XRP news that you have to hear. Oh, Ripple wants to be a bank? Sounds juicy, doesn't it? And Brad Garlinghouse comes out and lets us know how he feels about the Ripple and Linqto situation. BTC is getting ready to touch all-time highs, help pumping up the market. We'll talk price action along with...
I say lots of naughty things, so here's your warning.
Oh, baby, we're starting to see some green up on the screen as BTC is getting close to touching all-time highs, helping the alts pump, and we've got mega freaking news from Ripple. Yeah, that's right. They applied for a national bank license, which means what, everyone? They could custody their own stuff. Vertical integration, yeah, that's what we're talking about. Now, before we get into that crypto news and even more juicy stuff, your comments come first. Relato says you are spot on. You're my go-to guy for what's happening and for the real truth, not a bunch of hopium or FUD. Thanks for being there for us, Costco. You're welcome. I love bringing you the news, whether it's good, bad, happy, or sad. Raphael says, that's a surprise. The Dodgers beating the Media Blancas. That's the White Sox for you. Let me put my Sox hat on. Can't really be a bandwagon fan. I've been a Sox fan my whole life. The Sox suck, but I'm still a fan. God, that would suck to be a beat reporter for them. Nicole Selling Stuff says, we just got screwed with the big beautiful bill. Can the tax provisions be put into regs somehow or added somewhere else? This sucks baller onesies. It does. And yes, you can put the tax provisions into another bill, but here's the problem. If they didn't like it in this one, why would they like it in another one? You see the problem here? The problem is if the Dems out there and some Republicans don't like the idea that crypto bros and gals would be getting tax incentives for crypto, would it matter what bill you put it in? They still wouldn't like the crypto people getting the incentives with crypto. Daniel Watson says, hey dude, euro is pronounced euro. Just saying, my man, from a guy across the pond. But you gotta remember, my name is Klaus. So I'm German. In Deutschland, we say Euro. Love it anyways. Bitcoin sitting at 109,157. ETH is deep in the green, and XRP is right there with us. ADA's getting there too, along with some meme. Let's get right into the news. Diddy! That's right, the Diddy verdict. Jury convicts Combs at 2 counts. But those 2 counts were on the lesser charges of transportation of former girlfriends for prostitution. This is seen as a victory for Combs, who is cleared of the more serious charges against him. Oh man, I still want to know with Epstein, and I still want to know with Maxwell who they were trafficking to. I want the list, and I know you do too. Bitcoin tests 110,000 as total liquidations near 300 million. Yes, that's right, the shorts are getting rocked, but check it out. Brad, in a sharp statement with the Linqto situation, this is getting messy. We're going to talk about this, and then we're going to go right in to Ripple wanting to be a bank, baby. Are you ready? In a sharp statement, Ripple CEO draws a clear line between his firm and Linqto. This is important because a lot of people are like, yo, Ripple, did you do shady stuff? Brad is saying no. Linqto marketed itself as a way for retail investors to act as private startups and pre-IPO equity, including Ripple. But now the company is in trouble and facing federal investigations. This is the main reason why Garlinghouse distanced himself from the turmoil surrounding Linqto. It's reported that Linqto marked up Ripple shares by 60%, ignoring SEC rules that limited the markup to 10%. It was revealed that over 11,000 users used SPV, special purpose vehicles, which were supposedly set up to hold Ripple shares. However, many investors never legally own those shares since they were sold via the SPVs, which may not have been properly structured. The SEC and Department of Justice are now investigating Linqto and the company reportedly nearing bankruptcy, with users potentially locked out. This is an absolute disaster. Linqto did shadiness over in the UK, as Titan TM told us about that earlier. And now it appears they did the same thing here. So not only are they in trouble with the SEC, but now they're looking at what? They marked up shares 60% when they were only supposed to 10%, and they didn't do it the right way. This is what Garlinghouse said. Oh yeah, by the way, this is all linked in the description down below. Garlinghouse said, understandably, there have been many questions from those who believe they were buying Ripple shares from Linqto, and what happens to be next? unclear Ripple's end. This is the deal. This is what you got to hear. What we know from our records is Linqto owns 4.7 million shares of Ripple, solely purchased on the secondary market from other Ripple shareholders. Basically, Linqto never bought the shares from Ripple. Linqto bought them from other Ripple shareholders. Apart from Linqto being a shareholder, Ripple has never had a business relationship with Linqto, nor did they participate in our financing rounds. We stopped approving more Linqto purchases on secondary markets in late 2024 amid growing skepticism. Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And what Brad is also saying is, look, XRP and shares of Ripple are two different things. This post is only about shares of Ripple, which are private shares. Linqto is a very separate company that bought shares from Ripple from existing shareholders, not from Ripple. So basically, Ripple didn't do anything wrong. Ripple didn't screw anyone over. Linqto did. Now into the juicy news. And by the way, I know some of you watching out there got screwed by Linqto. I will keep bringing you updates with this story because I want to keep you informed. You ready? Ripple applies for a U.S. national bank license amid stablecoin push. Golf clap. Golf clap. This is the juice that we want. Freaking love it. Ripple has applied for a U.S. national banking license, expanding its regulatory ambitions as it prepares to scale its RLUSD stablecoin. Love it. The company submitted its application to the Office of the Controller of Currency, the OCC, Orange County Chopper. No, it's the Office of the Controller of Currency on Wednesday. That's today. That's breaking news. That's why you hit the subscribe button and notification bell, so you can be one of the first to hear this shit. If approved, Ripple would gain the authority to operate as a federally regulated bank, bypassing the need for a state-by-state money transmitter license. This also would give Ripple the opportunity to what? Custody their own stuff, which means they wouldn't have to pay someone else to custody it, which means they would have even more control. This move places Ripple among a growing group of crypto firms seeking deeper integration in the financial system. Earlier this week, Circle did something to do the same, similar, filing to become a national trust bank. Oh, Fidelity Digital and several others are also pursuing charters. Nice. This rush comes as Congress is moving closer to pass the Genius Act. Love it, love it, love it. So now, soon as I get more updates, I'll be sure to share them with you. The market's kind of heating up a little bit with BTC leading the charge. Altcoin season's 24 out of 100, which means the alts are starting to warm up a little bit. Volume's 114 billion over the last 24 hours, so exchanges are making the money. Love it. How many cryptos are there globally? 18 million, girlfriend. Oh, shit. Which means we got a lot of meme to deal with. XRP is starting to make a move, and oh, I like seeing this, but here's the problem. We got to 227, and then we got pushed right back down. Let's go to those candlestickeronis, you jabronis, and see what happened. Yeah, I know. We got a high of 229.17 on this candlestick right here. Remember, these are 15-minute plays with a follow-up candlestick right here at a high of 228. So the reality is we pumped, and then we, what, everyone? Say it, say it. Yeah, I heard you say it through the mic. Now let's see where this move leads us to. But the reality is the market wants to move. But the bigs are controlling the market, and so are the bots, and yes, the market makers. Now, this move has moved XRP to 3.6 billion. Now remember, we've got the 4th of July holiday coming up. So this is strong volume leading up into the holiday. What else are we seeing? Constant pumperonis and dumperonis with XRP. It is frustrating, yes, but if Ripple gets granted this action with the federal bank approval, this would be a massive, massive step. Now, what's awesome about this is the news of the application created this pumperoni. What do you think's going to happen when they get the approval? And check it out. I've got the White Sox shirt and the White Sox hat. Yeah, I know the Dodgers are going to beat the crap out of them, but I'm still a fan. I've been a fan my whole life. In fact, the majority of the cards in that display up there are a bunch of Sox rookie PSA 10 auto PSA 10 graded cards. Not a bandwagon fan, just a fan. Just like I'm a fan of crypto and I bring you the news, good, bad, happy, or sad. That being said, I am glad that Brad came out and said what he did in regards to Linqto. I am also glad that Ripple never directly sold that shit to them and that Linqto was buying secondary shares, which means what? Ripple's in the clear. The sad part about it, though, is I know a bunch of you listening right now are probably getting hosed by Linqto, which sucks. The other crappy part about it is it appears that Linqto has had problems in the past, and, well, it sounds like, yeah, they're having more problems. You know, there's clear rules about this stuff when you do things like what Linqto did. 10% markup, and they were charging 60% premium. So now the SEC and other three-letter regulators out there are going after them. And now they're having some problems, and funds are supposedly safe, but kind of inaccessible at the moment. So yes, I will keep you updated. That's the bad news. Again, bad news. The good news, though, is Ripple's like, yo, we want to be a federal bank, which is awesome because, again, they wouldn't have to apply for state-by-state money transmitter licenses. They could go for the big federal license, which encompasses everything. They could custody their own stuff. Vertical integration. Vertical means up, remember, which would be awesome. Big, big help for RLUSD adoption on that move. On top of this, that could really help out XRP as well. Now, speaking of XRP, look. I know, I get it. Bro, we only could pump to 229, and then we only could hold that move for like 15, 30 minutes, and then we start pooping on the way down. I get it. It's frustrating. But that's just on them applying. What happens when they get approved? And remember, the reason the market is really roaring right now, or starting to roar, lowercase r, okay, come on, let's be real, it's not uppercase r. Lowercase r is because of what? Because BTC is starting to move again. Are we going to have a July 4th pumperoni? I mean, we just celebrated Canada Day yesterday. So now all of a sudden, what everyone? Does this mean we're going to have a 4th of July pump action? It's possible. Only way we're going to find out is what? Sticking around and seeing what happens. So, I'm going to keep my eyes and ears open throughout the holiday. That's right, I'm not taking the day off. So, hit that subscribe button, notification bell so you don't miss out. Choo-choo what? Choo-choo White Sox. They're gonna lose. Look, if the Dodgers don't sweep the Sox, I'll be shocked, okay? If Ohtani doesn't hit, like, at least 2 home runs during the series, I'll be shocked, okay? Just putting it out there. I'm still a fan. I know they suck. But, yeah, look. Okay. What do you think would be a worse job for me? Reporter for crypto, where I gotta deal with pumps and dumps, scams and schemes and shit, or a beat reporter for the White Sox? That's an easy one. Beat reporter for the White Sox would suck. They're going to have 3 seasons in a row of 100-game losses. Oh. Choo-choo piss nachos.